Welcome to the Advocate vlog channel in which I'll discuss social issues and various global events that are going on that may be unheard of and various other things. Today's vlog I'm going to discuss an instance of global happening that we may hear a lot about, but we don't necessarily, or I, for instance, until I researched it more, didn't know a lot about. And that is the war in Syria and the Syrian refugee crisis. And I know that this is relatively mainstream news, but unbeknownst to me, there's a lot of things that I had just researched recently that I was unaware of because I only get the news from United States American news outlet sources where you hear about countries closing their doors to refugees, or you hear about um, you know, various different things from an outside perspective. Um, but so March 15th, 3 days ago, the Syrian war concluded its sixth year and entered its seventh year. And Megan Spacia of the New York Times released a video in which it discussed how the sixth year of the war, the year that just concluded, was the most violent and had the biggest impact on children. Over 600 children died due to events of the war, and over 800 children were brought and captured into the war, either as prisoners or as soldiers. And that is remarkable. I don't think you hear about that at all on the news, on mainstream television news, that children, the most innocent um, beings you can have, are being dragged in and so dominantly affected by this war. Um, and on top of that, there was also just yesterday or the day before that a bombing in Syria by Israeli fighter jets. Um, and Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, then openly stated that the world shouldn't look at them in a certain capacity, um, and that it's just what they do. That is just what people in that part of the world do. And that was published by RT.com. But that is a sadistic mentality to have. That's just what we do. We bomb people. We do violent acts. And that's not how the world should be. That's not how humanity should be. And lastly, another thing was that since the installation and inauguration of President Trump, um, the United States has added, now there's 400 ground soldiers that are posted in Syria to offer advice and teach the Syrian army against these rebels. The rebels included including ISIS. And it's just a terrible situation, but I feel like the news, for the most part, only presents information on the people fleeing the country and doesn't offer any news exactly on what is going on within the country that's causing these people to flee. And I think it causes a misunderstanding in the mainstream media with people who watch the news, that they don't understand how terrible it is and why it's important for these Syrian people to leave. Um, and these countries that are closing their doors, they need to look back on themselves and say, would they want people in their own countries being able to flee to other countries for refuge and safety if the same was going on with them? So that's just a couple things that I learned recently and happened in recent days, and I thought it was important to talk about the Syrian Civil War and crisis now that we just passed its 6th anniversary. And hopefully they can find peace and resolution soon, but unfortunately it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Thanks for watching. Please comment below if you have any comments on that, and thank you.